Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're...
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regret.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing. After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when...
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son would...
And a little
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture...
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken. And this is no picnic for me.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan... I don't think we'll be able to avoid a...
Is there no way we can talk them into...
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work. And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we...
There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Dan.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge...
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to...
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis.
That's right. If we can take it back, then... Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion? Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time. The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how... How is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, It will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Xion!
Alvin?
Living for the sake of dying. It's no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen! We can fight this! We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Xion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Xion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Xion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys, you're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, in a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
The end of the world.
I believe Shion is telling.
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher out...
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands. So many clues.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all.
Yeah, I remember. It was the will.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast... Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelegion. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? But why would they want to destroy...
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out...
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, especially when that deception has led to others.
So, Halim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we... As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best...
Right.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from...
Oh, that?
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain...
Yeah, I know.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing...
Yeah.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that map. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for...
You can say that again. It may be normal. I have my own dreams. But a world without her?
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps... Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard,
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorn. I just figured, but it turned out to be none of that.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time.
I'm sure it made her happy.
You...
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, you were a good friend to her before.
Yeah. When you think about it, but over time, we've all found ways to let each other... No, I mean, I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each...
Rinwell.
Did you...
You mean about...
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. It's like a completely different world.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something.
You? But you're the one always looking...
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all.
At least you figured it out in time.
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah,
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle.
I know. No lone...
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say.
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest.
I guess he couldn't say anything even...
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us among... will need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point. But I guess I'll think it over.
Yeah. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then, I realized... I'd only really been thinking of... Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't...
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over but I swear I'll be there with you. Until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't...
Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Huh? Why are you staring at me?
Good. This came out just... Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
Thinking some more about...
No. I find when I think too much about my ideals, I get hung up on the I know what it's like to go hungry. To lose your family.
Even thinking about things will make you hungry after a while. You wait here.
Thanks for the food.
What's so funny?
Nothing. Just impressed at how good of a cook you've been.
Well, we've been on this journey for a while now.
Yeah, and now I have a good meal in me. There's a simple kind of happiness that comes with that, you know? One that's more
That reminds me of something Law said. About how...
That sounds like Law. When you get down to it, all you really need is enough food to keep...
Speaking of people you love, I haven't heard you talk about
Wow, okay. But you're right, I haven't. If I'm honest, whatever kind of society we end up having after this, it needs to be a place. I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Rise and shine. We're almost ready to leave. Did we really just spend that much money? Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know...
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the...
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but...
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis, and then we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorn, all right?
You know, I can still hardly
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside...
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right.
From up here, all the struggles we've been...
Nothing like realizing how small you... Kinda makes the differences between the Ren and...
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base. Think you'll be all right with the...
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you. Hey, Alphen, listen to this!
Hey,
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all,
hey! I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to...
it's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so.
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride.
Is something...
No, I was merely thinking how it had been.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess
I am as prone to sentimentality as any. You too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. But I can't keep running forever. The past is...
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking...
We'll be going to Lenegis.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then?
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a...
You mean, they...
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked day in and day out, every single day. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I... some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as... Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that... That's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around?
Are you crazy?
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just... It's that logic that's used to justify slavery. As if some of us would... This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save...
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been...
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight, if we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for... Now I see it. The true nature...
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over...
You bet we can pull it off. We have to.
Yeah, you're right. No one's... We can do this. Together.
You okay?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all.
Glad to hear it. That device there,
I was just wondering what it is.
it's a healing pod.
Oh, you don't say. That... Alphen?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped. Naori laid me in.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that means...
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still,
What do you mean?
with the amount of fighting we've done, we would have... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when...
Of course. That's why you came with us, right?
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream, if I've learned anything on this journey, and the one Who brought me along was you, Alphen.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there,
Kisara.
probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let
Is everyone about ready?
Before we do that, just what...
Kisara has a point. Now that I think...
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was...
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's...
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yeah, as a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate...
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being...
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order.
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts.
Fair.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking.
Jeez. Give back.
Wait a second. Are you?
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discriminatory, as if such simplistic criteria could...
So this red woman, are we expect...
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discuss. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got...
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy.
If there are clues about your There's no one here. I wasn't expecting...
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated.
Do you think anyone realized...
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went...
I really hope we don't have to fight an...
So now what? We've come all this way, and if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too.
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the
Forbidden? What are they...
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have...
And you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are... Then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time. Possibly together. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think...
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find...
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track... Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. A capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is
For such a loudmouth, you should.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want every...
So how many Renans...
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machine...
There's Zoogles out here too, huh?
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted.
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to death.
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live.
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening. But so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business...
Trust me. The less you know...
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely let alone the Forbidden...
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find...
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis...
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here and...
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens.
While we're at it, we can ask...
And don't forget about finding the way...
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danins among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods. It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire...
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral...
But why do all this? What for?
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right?
You heard him. You don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was...
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into
Ordinarily, yes. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought.
Sorry. That probably...
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find...
Yeah, you're right, Shia.
Oh, dear me. What an Whatever did we do?
You really have no clue.
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior We have no choice, but do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of... I believed he was on...
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a
As your lordship wishes. First, Lenegis mutates beyond recognition. Now this The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great... I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, I witnessed the deaths of so many
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman...
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember it.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently...
Never mind. Forget I asked. Is everything okay?
Oh, yes.
I was hoping to head this way myself.
I suppose the Sovereign knows I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only link... I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard...
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route...
But of course. Please forgive me. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters.
It's worth investigating. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for...
You'd really do that for me? A lord...
Our lot in life is of little consequence.
Oh, why yes, my...
Well, we've canvassed the city for...
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up.
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here...
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true...
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's...
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about.
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and...
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least... That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought...
The points you make are valid. Though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature... Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me.
No.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that...
Hold up, what are you getting at?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has...
But what about trade and communication?
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, what if something were to happen to the city?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, but Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which...
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. As for how Volron factors into all this...
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. Now, 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason?
I can't say for sure.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One who's... We never did see Volron's body back in Ganatheros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron... The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that...
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden.
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a...
Then it's decided.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section. Let's go find it!
With nobody left to run the show. I mean, there's Sovereigns up on the...
But Dohalim was a lord.
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is...
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to...
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Balsif, Ganabelt. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know nothing.
Well, yeah, why would... To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to over...
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city... Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, every lord in their household has their share of support. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana.
I didn't realize Renan's a pres...
And yet, weirdly, none of them seemed to...
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it.
Unquestioning acceptance of your own...
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to...
What if she's not here? What if it turns...
It's still too early to...
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours...
And what skill would this be?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they...
I'm afraid I don't quite...
I do. It's called friendly and... Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to...
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and...
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just help...
Hey! What's got into Alphen and Law?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something...
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a...
Yes! Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them, too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Annabelle also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?